Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our director, Mr. Gary Gillette, members of your Missoula City Band, this is Bill Roach saying welcome to tonight's concert. Well, thank you very much. I think we'll go home now. That was great. Would you please join us now as we pay honor to our nation and play our national anthem. Well, we usually don't have commercial advertisements, but believe it or not, we have the finest lemonade stand in the world right here tonight. Madeline's world famous lemonade. She's to the right here. Now, Madeline, after profits, she has informed us, will give 10% of her money to the Humane Society. Isn't that nice? Not only is it good lemonade, it goes to a good cause. So it's hot tonight, and be sure to visit Madeline over there. Well, our next piece, our Rosencrantz du jour, is dedicated to the Culver Military Academy in Culver, Indiana. Now, hopefully, the reason we go through Rosencrantz this much, if you're ever on Jeopardy and get the composer category, you can just say an impoverished composer from Pennsylvania, and you can ring right in and say, Alex, who is George Rosencrantz? You don't even need to read the whole thing. You'll be able to know that right away. This is dedicated to the Culver Military Academy Band, written in 1926, just a super little march by our friend, Mr. George Rosencrantz. 2006 marks the 250th anniversary of Mozart's birth. Celebrations are being held worldwide, and the Missoula City Band is not to be left out. We'll be playing Mozart's pieces throughout the year. Now, the last time we played Mozart, I believe Mozart beat us 17-3. This year, we're hoping for better results. If you've seen the movie Amadeus, the piece we're about to play figured prominently in the score. This is the overture, Wolfgang Amadeus' opera, Abduction from the Seraglio. Well, American concert band series were traditionally marches, overtures, waltzes, and serenades and intermezzos. We have an intermezzo now from one of the most famous trombone soloists. The man's name was Arthur Pryor. What's that instrument you play, Gary? Is it? Yeah, I had to mention that. He's up there shaking and doing all sorts of things, so I figured we'd do that. Arthur Pryor was a famous trombonist. He played with the Sousa Band. He soloed so many times in the 12 years he was there. In 1906, he formed his own band, wrote a great many pieces of music. The Bluebells of Scotland for trombone, The Whistler and His Dog, some of his more famous ones. This one, we picked up, Mr. Gillette, myself, and Mike Rosbarski went to Butte and spent the day copying old music from the Anaconda Copper Mine Band portfolio that somebody found in a theater. Is loaded in dynamite boxes, so we went through, surprising in Butte, right? So we went through this and copied some things that we thought would be of interest, and this is one of them. This is After the Sunset Intermezzo by Arthur Pryor. This next march, to our knowledge, has never been published. It was written in, I believe, 1914. It is to Colonel Tom McTeague. Now, Colonel Tom, it seems, got his title from the governor of Montana in 1896. He was awarded the honorary title of colonel. I thought you had to get it for frying chicken, but he was... Hey, they get worse if you don't laugh, I'll tell you. But he was a prison guard. He was involved in, not a prison guard, a warden. He was involved in the construction of the Deer Lodge prison, and he was there from about 1885 to 1922. Now, the big mystery is the composer, Salia, was the band director on the USS Colorado. At that time, all battleships had their own band, and he was obviously quite a talented musician. He wrote this march. We don't know the connection. Nobody seems to know why the band director on the USS Colorado would write a march about a prison warden in Montana, but there obviously was some connection there somewhere. Anyway, it's a great march. We hope you enjoy Colonel Tom McTeague March. Well, we're going to have our guest artist come up shortly to join us with our next number. Send in the Clown, song by Stephen Sondheim from the 1973 musical A Little Night Music. It's a slow, mournful ballad in which the character Desiree reflects on the ironies and disappointments in her life. Of all of Stephen Sondheim's more than 800 songs, this one is the one that became truly a mega hit. The title refers to a phrase reputedly used in a circus when an unforeseen disaster had occurred, with the clowns being sent in to distract the audience from the problem. Singing Send in the Clowns is Dawn Douglas. She's a local singer extraordinaire. We found her singing the national anthem at the 4th of July celebration at the Southgate Mall years ago, and now have signed her on to stardom with the Missoula City Band. This local teacher and dance administrator recently performed her own voice recital at the campus of the University of Montana, and I might add, to rave reviews. She is a great singer, a wonderful person, and one of our favorite people to work with here at the Missoula City Band. This is Dawn Douglas.
Isn't it maybe next year.
Don will be singing the last number with us tonight, so please stick around for that. I want to mention that arrangement was a new arrangement written by my good friend and a very talented person, Mr. Mike Rosbarski. Mike? Hello, Mike. Nice job. Nice job. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to ask Corey, Janelle, and Leslie to circulate among you at this point. Folks, you're always so generous. Let me thank you in advance for anything you can give us. It's wonderful, wonderful. We really appreciate the support. And I had to tell Corey that honestly, it was just a coincidence. We're sending you out now. It's nothing to do with send in the clowns. It has nothing to do with that. I'm in trouble. Well, we've got a trombone smear coming up. These are famous in the circus, usually accompanied by clowns. It seems to be a theme tonight, Mr. Gillette. Send in the clowns, and now we've got trombone smears. This is called Trombone Smiles. It's by Fred Jewell, who is considered to be the March King of Indiana. Fred Jewell ran away from home and joined the circus at age 16. He taught himself everything about music, quite an accomplished composer, just a master at the baritone horn, and he also played the piano, all self-taught. When he finally got tired of the rigors of circus life, he settled down in Indiana where he established a music publishing business and taught music at high schools and universities. He is often mentioned with the likes of Sousa, Carl King, and Henry Fillmore as some of the finest American band composers ever lived. Musical scholars today are revisiting that, and some of the more savvy ones are including George Rosencrantz in that. I made that up, it's not true. Anyway, Trombone Smiles featuring our trombone section, wonderful trombone circus schmear. watch him. Watch where he goes. I'm not sure what he does. Anyway, we're going to ask Bill Holland, a fine horn player, experienced music educator, and quite the march expert, to come up and conduct our next march for us. We're lucky for Bill to share his expertise after years of playing under the baton of likes of Laura Sissel. He's a march recording icon, if you're into these sort of things, very famous. Bill is currently conductor of the orchestra director at Hellgate and Sentinel High Schools, and of the famed Missoula Youth Symphony. Tonight, Bill will lead us in Bravura March, again, a very famous circus march. Circus marches are known as screamers, and this is one of the best ones ever written. Written for the circus in 1918 by Charles Dubel. Rodeo bands, street parade bands, and football bands all claim this march as their own. Please welcome Bill Holland, and we're going to play Bravura. Bill Holland, ladies and gentlemen. Nice job, Bill. Thank you. Welcome back, Mr. Glenn. Where does he go? Thanks. When we think of John Philip Sousa, we can't help but think of marches. Such classics as Stars and Stripes Forever, Washington Post are just two of the many, many wonderful marches that he wrote. While he was proud of his marches, he really wanted to be remembered, believe it or not, as an operetta composer and composer of more serious works. While his operettas were successful in his day, they are seldom played today. They just did not withstand the test of time. Here's a seldom played piece from his Tales of a Traveler suite. This is the first one in a suite of 4. Inspired by a band tour that took him to South Africa in 1910, this one is entitled The Kaffir on the Karoo. I didn't make that up. The Kaffir on the Karoo. Sounds like Dr. Seuss. Anyway, there's a wonderful piece, John Philip Sousa's The Kaffir on the Karoo. Our next number is a fun, lighthearted piece, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy. This is the first time we played this, written for band in 1952 by Lou Singer. This is Wingding. We're coming up to our last number for this evening. On behalf of Gary Gillette, members of your Missoula City Band, Bill Rhodes saying thank you so much for your support and letting us share our music with you. We'll be back here next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Also, next week for the 4th of July, we'll be at the Southgate Mall and we'll be playing a concert before they light off the fireworks. So please be sure to, if you can, pencil us in for both those days. Busy week for us next week, Mr. Gillette. We're going to ask Don Douglas back again. We're going to do selections from My Fair Lady. My Fair Lady, 1956 musical theater production with lyrics and books by Alan J. Lerner and music by Frederick Lowe, brilliant team of Lerner and Lowe. It was originally adapted into a musical from George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, which itself was based on the Roman myth of Pygmalion. The stage musical first opened on March 15, 1956 in New York City. It ran for 2,717 performances, a Broadway record at the time. The stage musical was later made into a film by Warner Brothers in 1964, which we can still rent, it's still excellent, with Rex Harrison and Julie Andrews. Let's welcome back John Douglas to sing selections from My Fair Lady.
Any second you may suddenly appear. accustomed to the tune you whistle night and noon. Your smiles, your frowns, your ups, your downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. I was serenely independent and content before we met. Surely I could always be that way again, and yet I've grown accustomed to your look, accustomed to your voice, accustomed to your face. I could have danced all night, I could have danced all night, and still have begged for more. I could have spread my wings and done a thousand things I've never done before. I'll never know what made it so exciting. Why all at once my heart took flight. I only know when he began to dance with me. I could have danced, danced, danced all night.
Thank you. See you next week.